Welcome back to another powerful episode of the Godson Pratt podcast, where we uncover the mindset, discipline, and passion behind extraordinary people doing extraordinary things. Today, I'm sitting down with someone whose story redefines determination one step at a time, literally. He's Finland's rising star in racewalking, a European under-23 bronze medalist, national record holder, and a relentless force on the track. At just 22 years old, he's not only shattered records, but also expectations, improving his personal best by minutes and proudly carrying his country's flag onto international stages like the European Championship and the World Athletics Championship. But what really drives a young man to walk 20 kilometers faster than most of us could run? What's the mindset behind precision, patience, and pacing your way into history's books? Today, we will find out from Jerry Jokinen. Yes. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Jerry to the Godson Pratt podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really exciting to have you here. Like I said, you run. I did a little bit of research on you, and then it said that you walk 20 kilometers.
Yeah.
In about, previously you did 1 hour, 24 minutes and 41 seconds. And then you broke the record by 1 hour, 23 minutes. And I don't remember the second part.
56 seconds.
56 seconds,
yeah,
right?
Yes.
So come to think about it, I couldn't even run 20 kilometers that fast. Like it would take me like probably 3 hours to run 20 kilometers.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I just walk fast.
Right.
I've been doing it since I was 9, so
9 years old.
I've been practicing a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's early.
Yeah.
So going into I have a few questions here for you. Even as much as I would like us to have more conversation than, question and answers.
Yes.
But like the first question that I wrote down here says that your journey in athletics has been nothing short of inspiring, right? And so let's start with this. When you are in the middle of a 20-kilometer race walk, what is going through your mind?
Sometimes a lot, but sometimes nothing.
Okay.
I usually concentrate on the pace, the lap timing.
Right.
And when you concentrate on those things, you forget everything else.
Everything else.
Kinda.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you were about 9 years old when you started.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start race walking?
My mom. My mom is a former race walker.
Right.
Also, so
Right.
Yeah.
So you got inspiration from your mom.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I started track and field when I was 8.
Yeah.
And then I knew my mom was a race walker, and she showed me the technique of race walk.
Okay.
And I wanted to try, and then I went to competitions.
Right.
And
right.
I was pretty good at it.
Okay.
At the in the beginning.
Right.
And then I was like, this is pretty fun, and I'm good at it. So,
Okay.
So.
Okay, but I had to do a little bit research on you for the sake of the interview.
Yes.
Because I realized, like, even though I know you, there's always something that you don't know about people. So I tried to Google you a little bit and to see like what does the internet say about you.
Yes.
And it was like pretty impressive, some of the things that I found. But one of the things that like really fascinated me was like you are also passionate about fashion design.
Yes.
What about that? Tell us about that.
I actually study fashion design.
Okay.
In Turku.
Right.
And I've been studying it from autumn.
Okay.
Last autumn.
Okay.
And I've been almost always been passionate about fashion, and it intrigues me a lot. Right. And I want to create, and I want to show my personality and they drew me by like clothing.
Right. Yeah. So, but those are like really extreme worlds, right? Like fashion and race walking. So how do you do that?
Well, they are both. If I want to get like 100% into that thing, in that area of, I know I do race walking now. Like that's the first priority.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the second priority is the fashion.
Okay.
Of course, there's more priorities, family and
right,
and
other
friends,
stuff.
But like these kind of areas.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even me, I'm not a race walker, but I do a lot of physical exercise, gym and stuff like that.
Yes.
And I realized that in terms of discipline, if I take care of myself by properly following my routines with the gym and stuff like that, I have more energy to also focus on family, friends and other stuff as well. So for me also, if you'd ask me, I would say like gym first before everything else, because I know that puts me in the position to be able to even have the energy to take care of family relationships and stuff like that. But I found that you also played football at some point.
Yeah, I played football.
How long ago was that?
That was I started when I was like 5
okay.
4.
Okay.
And I quit after maybe 15 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. So I did over 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
How was it like difficult to leave football, because obviously you loved playing football as well, but when you had to quit it to go do race walking full time and also like as professional race walker, like was it like a very difficult transition for you or no?
Well, it was not the most difficult, but it was a bit difficult because I wondered, like before I quit football, I had stages when I thought I'm gonna quit race walking or athletics and like concentrate on football.
Right.
But then it seemed like the football wasn't going that well because I concentrated more
on race walking,
succeed more on race walking.
Right.
So that's why I wanted to like concentrate on race walking. And I noticed that I got some, when I play football, I got some like small injuries. But in race walking I didn't have them. But the ones that came from football affected in the race walking. Right. And obviously race walking is like your first love, right? Considering like your mother's influence on race walking, like that's like your first love. So it's something that you always go back to, kinda.
So, but anyway, like let's go a little bit back to like young or little. I mean, obviously you are still very young considering your age, but let's say like what was like little Yeru like? Like you said, you have been doing sports almost all your life from what I'm hearing, right? And race walking you started at 9, and your mother was like a very big influence with that, right? So what was like little Yeru like? As in, like, if you would picture a moment in, like, let's say you picture a moment in your childhood where you said like, okay, race walking, this is what my mother does, this is what I love, and this is it. This is what I'm going to be passionate about. This is what I'm going to be enthusiastic about, and this is what I'm going to do. And already, like, when I was doing research about you, it said that you broke a record that was like a decade old. So how do you do something like that, like at 22?
Well, I know I'm talented. I have genes for race walking because of my mom.
Right. So it's in your genes somehow.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
And I think the key is that I've always done it like for fun, kinda. I've enjoyed it. I haven't like pushed for it.
Right.
I've always like Well, not like always. But like the key is to like enjoy.
So that's really interesting, like perspective about, because I think like I've also read somewhere that some of the greatest leaders or people who have done things to affect big changes in the world, like you obviously breaking records, world records, and representing your country like that, they always say like, if you find something that you love to do, you will never have to work a day in your life, So it seems like Michael Jordan, right? He loves playing basketball so much that it doesn't seem like work to him, because this is just what he loves, Even if you wouldn't pay them to do it, they would do it because they love it. So it's like very interesting to hear you also say it. It's like it's a very common mentality of like great sportsman or great athlete. So it's like really interesting to hear. But so what does like to be able to, so do you know, by the way, who was holding the record before you broke it?
Are we talking about the 20K record?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Maybe it may have been maybe Valentin Kononen.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
Right.
It might have been someone else.
I didn't dig like deeper. It just said like it was like a decade long record, and then like you broke it. But shortly after that, you broke your own record. So like,
well, or maybe it was Aku Partanen's record.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I have to research a little bit to figure out whose record it is, right?
Yeah.
But whatever it is, like, I think you must have a very tremendous discipline, because to be an athlete at the level that you are, I think you have to train like at least 5 hours per day.
Almost, not every day.
So what is your training regimen looks like from, let's say, when you wake up until you go to sleep? What does like a regular training day look like?
Well, I have different days.
Okay.
But like, for example, now I'm in the altitude camp in Urhea, here in Helsinki.
Right.
So in the beginning I have lots of cardio.
Okay.
So I wake up at 8:20 a.m.
Okay.
Eat breakfast, some carbs, a bit of protein, but I'm an endurance athlete, so I need carbs.
Exactly.
And then I go to practice. Let's say I have 1 hour cardio in the altitude. I do cycling. I do cross trainer.
Right.
I do a bit running.
Right.
A bit race walking. And then I go like in the normal altitude.
Okay.
And do there an hour.
Okay.
So it's 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
it's kind of easy training.
Okay, for you.
Yeah.
I guess if I have to do that, like my legs are gonna be shaking and stuff, Yeah. But then, like, how often in the week do you train like that?
I train a bit about. It depends. About 7 to 12.
Okay.
Practice per week.
Right.
I do not like, if comparing to others, I don't train that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like a step by step, like going like up.
Okay, so is that like strategic then, so that you right, so that you don't like burn yourself out too early, so that you kind of like grow into it. Like that. So that's like
I improve like year by year.
Right.
And do like a PB every year.
Right. So okay, now you already broke your own PB one time.
Yes.
Are you planning to break it again?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So like I have this question. It's probably a little bit. It's supposed to come a little bit later on in the interview.
Yeah.
But now, because I already asked you about breaking your PB and seeing the excitement on your face.
Yeah.
If you're gonna keep on breaking your PB and stuff like that, then it means like the future is very bright, because at this point you are only 22 years old, and your PB that you've already broken is looking already beautiful. So what are your plans for the future then? Let's say like in the next 5 years, where do you see yourself? Is like Olympic the goal then?
I see myself in Los Angeles Olympics in 2028.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's like 3 years from now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm not sure. I don't think I got to like have to improve a lot.
Right.
If I want to be in the if I want to be a champion or in the medals.
Yeah.
But I see myself in there.
Right.
But not maybe yet in the podium. But like the next Olympics.
Right.
In Australia.
Yeah.
2032.
Okay.
There I might see myself.
So that's like, for you, that's very achievable because you've already done so much.
Kinda.
And I think like, you always have to see it first before you become it. At least like that's how I have understood it based on some of the philosophers that I have read and follow, sometimes you're a kid and then you see yourself as a world champion, and it might take even 20 years or 30 years before you get there, but you have to.
It's a long process.
It's a long process.
You have to manifest it.
Exactly. So like the process is just equally as important as the end goal.
Yes.
So
it's almost more important.
Exactly. So what is your personal philosophy when it comes to discipline? Like, do you believe motivation is enough, or is there something deeper that keeps you consistent?
Motivation is important, but it's not all. You have to be motivated, but you have to enjoy. You have to trust yourself.
Right.
You have to. I think manifesting is a good way.
Right.
Also
to
like to picture yourself in the place you want to be.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna subconsciously do things for it.
Yeah. That's also like very, very important, because it's like, sometimes you see your vision way early before other people will see it. So it's like, if you're not able to see it and believe in yourself and have faith that it is possible, like a lot of people might even talk you down onto it, because it's like you have seen your vision, but it's like, 10,000 hours of practice before you will get there.
Yeah.
And with this 10,000 hours of practice, there's a lot of obstacles that will come your way. And sometimes even people who care about you, like even your own family, sometimes they may doubt that, they will tell you like to go do something else because this is not achievable.
Yeah.
Luckily for you, you already have a mother who has already led the path. So it's more easy for them to kind of like, support you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I saw one of your interviews on Ule TV, and you said like you had a very solid team behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how is having a great team important in, like your form of sportsmanship?
I think it is pretty important, because when you have a good team, you don't have to concentrate on the other stuff yourself that much. You can just concentrate on the main thing. It's racewalking. Right.
So they take off the other stuff like the logistics and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you focus on being what you are good at, which is being the best athlete that you can be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to ask you this also, right? Because I think every athlete, faces some type of setbacks, in their journey.
Yeah.
Be it like injury, burnout, So if I would ask like, what has been your lowest moment so far, and how did you fight through it? Because I think like that is very integral part of every athlete's journey. So what has been your lowest moment so far, and how did you overcome it?
I think the lowest moment was actually the year 2023.
Okay.
I was in army.
Right.
I had like, after the 2022, I was my first time in European champs.
Okay.
Like adults European champs.
Right.
And then I knew next year is gonna be under 23 European Championships.
Right.
I knew I'm in good condition. I knew I'm gonna improve. I saw myself in the podium. I saw I'm gonna take bronze in there.
Yeah.
I saw it. Like it was very clear.
Right.
Like in the autumn
Yeah.
of 2022.
Okay.
And then I had army. It began in autumn.
Okay.
And then I just like I saw that picture in my head like through the year.
Yeah.
But the winter was very difficult.
Okay.
Spring was very difficult.
Right.
I was constantly sick.
Okay.
And could train like the longest time that I could practice.
Yeah.
Like was 3 weeks, and
Okay.
then I got something. I got sick.
Right,
or I
right,
got
right.
a army camp or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was like the longest time I could practice straight.
Okay.
Like in winter, spring.
Right.
So it was very difficult, like mentally.
Yeah. I can
and
understand.
physically also.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But how did you overcome it then? Because I mean, I think when I was doing the research, I saw that you won the bronze.
Yeah.
So did you win it that year, or did you win it?
I win it that year.
Okay. So how did you manage? Because with all the setbacks, like what did you do differently?
I just like trusted myself.
Yeah.
I trusted I'm in a good condition.
Yeah.
But I have to rest.
Right.
Like the times that there's too much things going on, I have to reset my mind. I have to rest and not push too much.
Right.
And I did that in the like important timings.
Right.
So that's maybe the key.
So you did all this while still serving in the army, doing your national service.
Yeah, I did.
But you didn't have your team with you in the army, so how did you manage?
I don't know. I just did. Well, I got like holidays because it was a sports army.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I got holidays for doing the
right.
athletics.
Okay. Yeah. You know, the reason why I asked, because I've been to the army also in Finland, and I know how exhausting that was. Like I literally could, like when we have done, but I was like a pioneer, you know.
Yeah.
So like combat pretty much. So our training was like super exhausting. Like if I had free time, I was almost trying to sleep all the time.
Yeah.
So I couldn't imagine that if I had to train for championship, I couldn't do it. Yeah. Because I had no extra energy, you know, after all that. But you still managed to do it.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
But if I were in normal army, I wouldn't
exactly.
be able to
exactly.
do it. So
exactly.
It helped.
Right.
To be like.
So then you won the bronze.
Yeah.
How was the feeling like when you won the bronze?
It was imaginable.
Yeah.
Like non-imaginable. It was crazy.
Right. I mean, and that's like just how you saw it, like how you envision it. So I think like that's also important, because like somehow you already saw the vision. You saw that you know you could win it, and you knew like you were in good condition. So even though with all the obstacles, it didn't kind of like break you, or it didn't kind of like stop you from, because you could have had a good excuse, right? You could have easily said like, okay, now I'm in the army, so I don't have like 100% time to train to be the best version of myself.
Yeah.
So if you would give like that excuse, you know, everybody will kind of like accept it. But you didn't accept it yourself, that it was no excuse. So that is like proof that, you know, if you want something as bad as you want to breathe, then there are no excuses, and you are like a proof of that, right?
Kinda.
Okay, so let's say, right, do you have, let's say, now you are only like 22, right?
23.
23. Okay, right. So maybe the information that I got is like a little bit, but anyway, 23. Okay, so you now you have competed in the under 23 World Championship or European Championship.
European Championship.
European Championship. Okay, so but which other ones did you compete before that then?
I've been my first junior championships.
Yeah.
Where it was this championships called EUOF, which is European Youth Olympic Festivals.
Okay.
That was like my first big competition.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
It was in 2019.
Okay.
I was 17. Yeah.
Right.
16, 17.
Yeah. When I was 17, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just all over the place, you know. I had no goals, no determination, just, you know, kind of like living through, you know, like just doing life.
Yeah.
I didn't think about being a world champion or anything.
Well, I didn't either, but I just...
right. Yeah. But you had it in your genes, right?
Kinda, yeah.
But let me ask you though, like, what about your mother? Like, did she also compete in like the European Championship and World Championship?
Her like biggest championships were the Nordic Championships.
Okay.
Which is between Sweden, Iceland, and Norway.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of like elevated the level for your mother.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that means like, what legacy are you planning to leave then? Because like now you already gone, you know, in Ghana, where I'm from, we have a saying that our parents' dream and vision is that we become better than them. You know, so it's like everything that they did, they hope that we will do way better than them. You know, so if your mother was able to go to the Nordics, you are already playing in the World Championship, right? So like in terms of legacy, what type of legacy are you looking to like leave behind?
Well, of course, the best legacy you can get.
Yeah.
Like, it's been motivating to also know, when I was younger, to know that I'm in like better position than my mom was when she did it.
Okay.
But of course, my mom is also my coach. Okay. And he's been like...
Oh, your mom is your coach. Okay.
She's been along.
Right. Because like I think it mentioned... It like here it mentioned like your coach as well.
Yeah.
And what's the name? It's like
Mari Rajamäki.
Right. Yeah. So I didn't know that was your mom.
Yeah.
Because it says like you've been training under, you know, Mari, and like your result has been a little bit different. And also that when you switched to Turun Urheilulito, then it's like now you have more, like you are very well equipped to be able to focus more on being like...
I have a good support there.
Right.
It's very good.
So the next question I want to ask you, right, is like, is there, do you have like specific quotes or mantra that, or belief that you carry with you, especially in the toughest races, you know?
Well, I'm thinking of one which calls just go.
Okay.
Meva.
Yeah, just go. Right. Finish. So you just keep going.
Yeah, just keep going.
Yeah.
Like concentrate on the technique, the rhythm, your hands, your like hips, how you're moving, and just be on the rhythm and look forward, and just go.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like that's a smart one. Just go.
Yeah, just go.
That's like Nike, right? Just do it.
Kinda, yeah.
Right. But anyway, like, you know, I understand that so far you are very motivated, you know, very inspired, and, you know, like you are very resilient, and probably in the future we're going to see you in the Olympics and probably even winning Olympic gold medal or something like that, right? Everything is possible. But has there ever been moment where you felt like quitting or giving up completely?
Yeah.
Okay.
There have been. I actually, before going to army, I was thinking myself that I wanna like get a year off.
Okay.
Just like get some money, go traveling around the world.
Right.
That was my plan. But then I suddenly got to my first championships, European championships.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, now I'm even more motivated to do my thing.
Right.
So that went off.
Yeah. And now you get to travel around the world anyway, doing the thing that you love the most. Yeah. Like that is the best part of, like when you can travel around the world doing exactly what you love to do. There's no better feeling than that.
Yeah.
Even though most of the time would be to do training camps and maybe competitions, but it's still pretty much you get to travel around the world, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, like, if you could say one thing to every young athlete listening who feels like giving up, what would it be?
I think if you love it enough, you're gonna achieve it.
Right.
Sometimes there are bad days.
Yeah.
You feel like quitting.
Yeah.
But then you just gotta think how much you want it and how much you love it and what it brings to you, your life.
Right. So I have still a few questions, but I want to ask, like, where can people find you if they want to follow your journey and interact with you? Like, where can they find you?
They can find me in Instagram.
Okay.
Jokisen Jerry.
Okay. I think we will also tag that in the description so people can click on it.
Yeah.
But then a few more questions before we end our segment, because we know you have to go and do other stuff.
Yeah.
What should we expect from you, both in sports and also in fashion?
Good results.
Good result.
Yeah.
Okay.
Improvement.
Yeah.
Creative things.
Right.
Yeah. I think I have projects on fashion also.
Okay.
But they're gonna come when the time
is right. So those are like on hold now,
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like slowly progressing.
Yeah. But I think also that is also very interesting because like sometimes when you study some of history's greatest men, even like some of the top athletes, right?
Yeah.
They haven't only done one thing. It's very few who have done like the same thing over and over, like really extreme, maybe Tiger Woods and stuff like that. They are just like the few ones who started at 3 and then they've literally done that. But if you look at somebody like even Michael Jordan or something like that, he was playing baseball at 12. He didn't even play basketball.
Yeah.
And then there's always been like some of the great, like they could be architects, but maybe they started, doing like maths or science, or maybe they, some of them are mathematicians, but they are playing guitar, like they have a lot of different other things that kind of like give them that creative expression. And then they use that also in their sportsmanship. And it's like you have that also, like you have passion for fashion, but all those things come together to make you like the best sportsman that you are. I also say to my friends, like, when I go to the gym, because I'm also like the CEO of Get Fit For Sure, which is like a fitness brand.
Yes.
And that, right?
I have the t-shirt.
Yeah. You are like a representative also, right?
Of course.
So what happens is like, I realize when I go to the gym and I'm looking myself in the mirror, when I see myself and I like what I see, it almost kind of like enhances my my training. So like I'm very, like the clothes that I put on, the colors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I put a little bit thought into making them, So I'm not just thinking like I'm gonna go to the gym and just work out. Like I'm thinking like, okay, I need to look good, so I need to wear this type of tank top, match with this type of shorts, and like the shoe, the socks, and everything. And then when I'm training and I look myself in the mirror and I see how like the composition of my muscles in the clothes, it kind of like boosts my energy to, okay, now I need to work more so I can look even better in the clothes, But that is also because I had a little bit like fashion background in modeling and stuff like that,
Yeah.
So I kind of understand like how you look outside sometimes can affect how you feel inside,
Yeah.
So I use that.
It boosts your confidence.
Exactly.
That boosts your like motivation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one last question, Yeru.
Yes.
This, I know, like I can almost like envision what you're gonna say, but for the sake of our audience, I will ask it because this is like very common also with like great athletes, right?
Yeah.
So if I ask you motivation or discipline, which would you choose?
Discipline.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought as much.
Yeah.
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 Because they say like you can be motivated to go work out tomorrow, but motivation will not get you out of the bed at 4 a.m. It's only discipline. So, you know, I thought like you would say that.
Yeah.
Right. So what is the, if you have a few words to our audience and guests, what would you say? Do you have something for them?
Maybe, dream big.
Right.
And do everything you can to achieve it.
Thank you.
But you have to remember, you have to love it.
Right.
If you don't love what you're doing,
yeah,
then it's not gonna.
Yeah.
You're not gonna achieve it.
Right. Thank you so much, Jeru, for coming to the Godson Pratt podcast.
Thank you, Pratt.
This is like a very short one, but you know we are looking to do like few ones in the future, and hopefully when we are sitting next time and having a conversation, it won't be only like a bronze, but we're going to talk about silver and gold, and like your vision, you would have achieved, you know, your dream as Olympic athlete representing Finland, you know, the happiest country on the planet. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice one.
Thanks.
What do you think? It was good?
Yeah, it was good.